warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 19 and we are like to present our topic entitled ISO for lab testing, testing product PAUM. Introduction of ISO IEC 17025. Implementing an ISO IEC 17025 laboratory management system is a means to ensuring efficiency and technical competency in calibration and testing laboratories. This ISO or IEC 17025 accreditation certificate will show the potential customers that this laboratory values quality and have taken the steps to ensure that your calibration or testing results are accurate and very reliable. In November of 2017, the International Organization for Standardization (ISO), with the collaboration of IEC, has released a new version of ISO IEC 17025 requirements for testing and calibration laboratory. The format of the new standard has changed very significantly. It was the first time that the standard was updated in 12 years, and the change reflect the change in other ISO standards such as ISO 9001:2015, along with industry changes as a standard to develop and establish a quality system for a laboratory and also for assessment by laboratory clients or the third parties. Second, this is used as a criteria for laboratory accreditation that global standards is important laboratories to ensure the validity of the global comparability of test calibration results. There are 6 benefits. First, professional working approach. If implementing of ISO IEC 17025 will enable a hierarchical order and clear job responsibilities for all employees. Second, competence demonstrations. This competency assessment ensures that only trained, skilled, authorized, and staff can perform the laboratory tasks. Third, validity of the final report. Accredited laboratory submits the final reports to customers where the results are used as the basis for audition or to verify the conformity to a specification. Increasing the customer confidence. ISO 17025 demonstrates that a laboratory is very capable of providing consistently valid results. That the individuals performing the work are competent and the all accurate measurements result can be traced back to the international system of units, which is SI, creating a proactive risk-based business and quality culture, not a reactive. It's a defined activities, policies, and quality objective are the foundation for the strategic direction of the organization. 6. Assuring your laboratory's credibility. Your test and calibration methods must be reviewed and audited to ensure that you are using the latest technology and documentation available.
Requirement of ISO 17025. First is general requirement, second structural requirement, next is resource requirements, and lastly process requirement. There are 2 things that is important to general requirement. First is impartiality, next is a confidentiality, next is a resource requirement. First, general resource requirement, which is encompass personnel, facilities, equipment, system and support service, including personnel who are directly involved in testing. Personnel is all personnel of the laboratory. Both internal and external must be competent and work within all the structure of the laboratory's management system. And next is facilities and environmental condition. The condition of the laboratory must be documented, controlled, monitored, and recorded. Next is equipment. The laboratory shall have access to the proper equipment required for the performance of laboratory activities. Next is metrological traceability. Laboratory must be established and maintain metrological traceability of their measurement result using documented unbroken chains of calibration. Externally provided products and service. Laboratory must have a procedure and maintain record and must also communicate requirement to external providers. Process requirement. For review of requests, tenders, and contract, laboratory must have procedure for the review of requests, tenders, and contract. Next is selection, verification, and validation of method. The laboratory is required to use appropriate method and procedure for activities. Sampling. Laboratory must determine if the sampling method address the factor to be controlled handling of test and calibration item. The laboratory must have procedure for transportation, receipt, handling, protection, storage, retention, and disposal or return of the test or calibration item. Next is technical record. The lab must be recorded for all the lab activities content result. This is evaluation of measurement uncertainty. The laboratory need to identify the contribution to the uncertainties. Next is reporting of result. The result need to be reviewed and authorized prior to release. Next is complaint. Laboratory must have documented process to receive, evaluate, and make decision on how to handle the complaint. Next is non-conformance. Lab must have a procedure that have implemented when activity or result do not conform to its own procedure or the agreed requirements made by customer. And lastly, control of data and information management. Labs need to verify that they have the necessary access to data and information needed to perform all of its activities.
Implementing of ISO 17025, Eurochem, SciTech, Eurolab, and iLab have developed guidance document for measurement, uncertainty, and traceability in measurement. First, equipment. Each lab should have a plan for how to ensure adequate equipment function and performance before and during sample measurement. Number 2, documentation specification. The equipment and software should comply with specification to the task. Number 3, initial testing for calibration and performance verification. Equipment used for measurement should be tested before initial use to ensure acceptable performance. Steps for testing include 1. Develop test procedure and test protocols. Define acceptance criteria based on documented specification. Select and traceable test tools such as references weight for calibration of a balance. Make sure the test engineers have appropriate qualification to perform the test. Perform test and document the result. Verify the acceptance criteria are met. Label the equipment status as well as the dates of last and next calibrations. Finally, maintain records for calibration and checks. Next, number 4, testing during ongoing use. Equipment characteristic and performance can change over time. For example, chromatography once a year. Number 5, maintenance and repair. Defect equipment should not be used for test and calibration. Records of maintenance and repair should be maintained. Number 6, software and computer system. Used for acquisition, processing, recording, reporting, storage, and retrieval of test and calibration data be validated. The two measurements that need to be measured are measurement traceability and measurement of uncertainty. Measurement traceability used for calibration of measurement equipment to be traceable to SI units. The reference that can be used are primary reference material, certified reference material, and working reference material. While measurement uncertainty happen due to errors arising at the various stages of sampling, sample preparation measurement, and data evaluation, the measurement is needed to know the true value of testing.
Okay, so next is analysis of bakery product. So first is you can use the microbiological testing, and for microbiological testing, it is to ensure that the food is safe from microbe, and use the methods such as USP, BP, FDA, AUSC, and etc. So next is swab and air testing. So for swab and air testing, swab is to detect the microbe at the surface of the laboratory performance and do the air monitoring. We use the bioaerosol impactor and sedimentation method. Okay, halal and GMO testing. Okay, use GC and DCR method. For chemical testing, alcohol content, foreign DNA, porcine, and etc. Okay, another analysis of bakery product is use the chemical and heavy metal, which is use AOSC method to detect the heavy metal residue in food product. And the next is nutritional fact testing, preservative and pesticide testing, and lastly, shelf life study. So the shelf life study is use the methodology from National Pharmaceutical Control Bureau, which is BPKF. ISO 17025 is the main international standard for general requirement for the competence of testing and calibration laboratories. And this ISO 17025 2017 is the recent version, okay, that has been updated from 2005. And in major countries, ISO 17025 is the standard most labs must hold accreditation in order to be deemed technically competent. And there are many commonalities with the ISO 9001 standard, but ISO 17025 is more specific in requirement for competent and applies directly to those organizations that produce testing and calibration results. And it is based the more technical principle produced and have many benefits for laboratories.